Protecting your daughter is our priority. One afternoon, a sudden call from the police jolted me. Why would they be calling me? What on earth happened? As I listened, shock coursed through me at their words. What do you mean? It turned out they had found my 4-year-old daughter alone and had taken her into their care. But she was supposed to be at the amusement park with my husband. Little did I know, this call would mark a significant turning point in our lives. I'm Karen, 30 years old, juggling work from home while raising my daughter. 5 years ago, I married my college classmate Andrew, and together we have a 4-year-old daughter named Jennifer. My husband is incredibly hands-on with childcare, often taking our daughter out on his days off. He's also on the cusp of a big promotion, so life has been quite rosy for us, thanks to him and our delightful daughter. That was until I received that fateful call. Today, we're going to the amusement park, Jennifer had exclaimed with excitement that Saturday. My husband, off work, had taken her, though I was meant to join. A last-minute work task foiled my plans. We're off. Have a great time, I called after them, watching as they held hands and headed to the car. All right, time to nail work today. It's going to be a good day, I murmured to myself as I retreated to my home office. 2 hours later, as I was about to take a short break, I noticed my phone ringing. Since it was lunchtime, I'd assumed it was my husband. However, the caller ID displayed an unknown number, leaving me on edge. Answering cautiously, I was greeted by the police, informing me they had found my daughter alone. But there was no way she'd be alone. She was supposed to be at the amusement park with my husband. Initially, I thought it was a prank. I decided to double-check with my husband. Hello, there's something I'd like to ask you, I began. What's up? He replied casually. Where are you and Jennifer right now? I inquired, my concern growing. We're at the amusement park, my husband answered, still nonchalant. My heart raced as I struggled to process his words. The police just called me, saying they found Jennifer. What's going on? What? Well, she's laughing next to me, he replied, sounding slightly unsettled. As long as you're together, that's fine, I said, trying to reassure myself. Can you put Jennifer on? No, she says she's too embarrassed, my husband responded. But she loves playing phone games and calling us when we're out. There's no way she'd be embarrassed, I countered, feeling my trust in my husband waver. Are you sure? It sounds like something Jennifer would do. Look, maybe Jennifer is tired too. Can we drop it now? My husband's eagerness to end the conversation only fueled my suspicion. Suddenly, I noticed something off. Wait, it's unusually quiet. There's no sound of laughter or amusement park rides in the background, I pointed out, my apprehension deepening. He claims they're at the amusement park, but could that be true? I'll see you at home then, I said, unable to shake the feeling of unease. With that, he hung up. As I pondered my husband's odd behavior and the unsettling silence, a nagging sense that something wasn't right consumed me. I realized I hadn't checked the GPS on my daughter's phone amidst the chaos of the police call. But it shows they're at the amusement park, I murmured to myself, surprised by the confirmation. The GPS confirmed they were indeed where they were supposed to be. However, the call from the police still left me uneasy. Worried yet suspicious, I decided to head to the amusement park. When I arrived at the Lost and Found Center, there she was, my daughter, chatting happily with a police officer. But as soon as she spotted me, tears streamed down her face. Dad said he'd wait for me on a bench and that I could go on any ride I wanted. I was playing, and then when I looked around, he was nowhere to be found, she sobbed. Concern gnawed at me as I listened to her story. I asked the staff for details. They had found my daughter wandering alone in the park. Despite several announcements calling for her guardians, no one showed up, prompting them to contact the police. Thankfully, she had a tag with her address and my contact details, allowing them to reach me quickly. Where could he be? What's he doing? My husband wasn't the type to abandon our 4-year-old daughter like this. Could he be in some sort of trouble? I shook off the unsettling thoughts as I focused on comforting my daughter. Mom, I took lots of pictures, she said, handing me her toy camera, a special gift from her grandfather. Even though it's just a toy, it can take real photos. Curious, I turned it on and scrolled through the pictures. You've got to be kidding me, I muttered under my breath as I came across a photo of my husband hugging an unfamiliar woman. My heart sank as more similar photos appeared, making me feel sick to my stomach. Jennifer, who is this woman? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. She's a friend of Dad's, Jennifer replied innocently, but her words felt like a punch to the gut. Dark memories flooded back. My husband had cheated on me once before, 5 years ago when I was pregnant. We had reconciled then because of our impending child, but now he was doing it again, and using our daughter to cover it up. He probably left her here to be with his mistress. Do you know where Dad went, Jennifer? I asked, my voice trembling. She shook her head, tears welling up in her eyes as she recounted how he had forcefully pushed her away earlier, telling her she was big enough to play by herself. I'm so sorry you had to go through this, sweetie, I whispered, taking her hand as we headed home. Late that night, my husband rushed through the door, looking panicked. Where have you been, and what have you been doing? I demanded, my anger barely contained. He picked up on the tension in my voice, looking tense himself. Actually, Jennifer went missing, he stammered. You said she was fine on the phone. Why did you lie? I pressed. I didn't lie, he insisted, but his words rang hollow in the air. I never imagined it would take this long to find her. It's been over 6 hours since that phone call. He's probably been out with his mistress all this time. It's clear he's lying. Don't you think it's odd you didn't notice the park announcement? I confronted him. How do you know about that? He asked, looking uncomfortable. The police called me when I went to pick up Jennifer at the amusement park. The staff told me, I replied, watching his silence confirm my suspicions. He wasn't there, leaving our daughter stranded at an amusement park to be with his mistress. It's unforgivable. I've made up my mind to get back at him, I declared firmly. Fine, just don't do it again, he said, visibly relieved. Okay, I replied, deciding to let him think he's off the hook for now. Meanwhile, I've been up to something. A month later, I found myself in Los Angeles, not for vacation or work, but to catch my husband red-handed with his mistress. Having a good time on your trip with your mistress? I confronted them as they walked hand in hand. They both turned around, their faces filled with shock. You can't talk your way out of this, Karen. What are you doing here? Weren't you supposed to be on a business trip today? He stuttered. That's not it. She's a colleague from work, he tried to explain. Oh, really? I called your office. They confirmed you took the day off? I countered, watching him grow increasingly rattled, his eyes darting around as if seeking a way out of his own lie. How did you even find out I was here? He finally asked. Remember the GPS on Jennifer's phone? I put it in your car, I replied, feeling a mixture of satisfaction and betrayal. I showed him my phone screen, displaying the location of a car parked nearby. Using a hidden camera is so underhanded. Who's the underhanded one here? The only reason you'd be worried is if you had something to hide, I accused, my frustration evident. Or is this you finally admitting it? I continued, my voice trembling with anger. That's not it, he retorted, his fury palpable. He cheats and yet blames me, I thought, rendered momentarily speechless by his audacity. Do you even have proof that I cheated? He challenged, his tone dripping with disdain. Well, about that, I trailed off before shoving a photo in his face. What is this? Look familiar, I demanded, my voice rising. This is from when we went to the amusement park. But how do you have this picture? You were supposed to be working, he sputtered, his disbelief evident. Jennifer took it. Toy camera actually works, you know, I replied, my frustration mounting. You've got to be kidding me, he muttered, his expression shifting from disbelief to denial. This isn't even me, he insisted, attempting to dismiss the evidence. To counter his attempt to weasel out, I handed him a large number of photos. There were so many of them that they seemed to overflow from his hands. I'll admit the toy camera doesn't take the clearest photos, so I took these myself to make sure, I explained, watching his face pale as he saw the photos clearly showing him with his lover. How could you be all lovey-dovey with her right in front of our daughter? You're despicable, I accused, my voice trembling with a mixture of anger and betrayal. In a desperate attempt to erase the evidence, he began tearing up the photos. But I had anticipated his move. Too bad these are all copies, I declared triumphantly, watching his face fall as the realization sank in. I've got the original stored safely, I declared, my anger palpable as I glared at him. He looked defeated, but I decided to deal another blow. You've got a big promotion coming up at work, don't you? I asked pointedly. What's your point? He replied, his voice strained. How do you think spreading these photos would affect that? I pressed. His face gradually turned paler as he realized the implications. His company values character when considering promotions. If word got out about the affair, It could ruin his chances. Please don't do this. Do you really think I'll forgive you now? I've been a good husband all this time, haven't I? He pleaded, desperation creeping into his voice. A good husband wouldn't leave his daughter at an amusement park, I retorted loudly, watching him visibly shrink back. But I've been taking our daughter out every week lately, haven't I? He countered weakly. That was just to keep me off your scent about your affair, wasn't it? I shot back, my voice dripping with accusation. I'm really sorry. Just please don't tell my work, he begged, his almost tearful face failing to elicit any sympathy from me. Do you remember when you cheated on me 5 years ago while I was pregnant? I continued, watching his face tense and sweat form on his forehead. I haven't forgotten the agreement we signed. His eyes widened in realization. No, this isn't what it looks like. It's not an affair, he stammered, but his words fell flat. Then what is it? I demanded, my voice cold and unyielding. He fell silent, starting to cry, pathetic. Then go ahead and sign this, I said, thrusting divorce papers towards him. No, I don't want to break up. Who will take care of things at home if you're gone? He protested weakly. Staying together now is impossible, I stated firmly. I promise no more affairs, he screamed, his eyes bloodshot with tears, but his words didn't reach my heart. I'm not angry about the affair anymore, I replied calmly. What, so you're forgiving me? He asked hopefully. No, I replied firmly. What I'm angry about is you putting our daughter in danger. My husband fell silent, tears streaming down his face. And another thing, I continued, my voice steady, you don't have a place in anyone's life anymore. What do you mean? He asked, confusion evident in his voice. While you were gone, I told your parents, your coworkers, and everyone in your usual hangouts about what you've done. Everyone knows now, I explained. Hearing this, my husband buried his face in his hands, overwhelmed with despair. I don't even want to see your face, so make sure you fill this out, I said, handing him divorce papers. My husband looked up at me, his face a mess of tears and snot, resembling a child. I left him there and walked away. A month later, the news reached his company, and they revoked his promotion because of the agreement we had. He had to give up his assets with an additional $220,000 in damages and $400 a month in child support. He's barely making ends meet now, having to change jobs to a company with a terrible work environment just to earn a higher salary. He's working nonstop. Meanwhile, I've moved back to my parents' home with our daughter, doing my best as a single mom. Next year, my daughter will start preschool, and I'm looking forward to seeing her grow anew.